I just wanted to get the stream up and sorted, so we had no worries going in. But season opener tonight, so it's going to be a good one, and I hope you all enjoy. I'm going to be Sweeney. I'm going to be talking you through all the action. So yeah, if you are watching live, come in, have a chat, whatever it is. Go get a cup of tea, go get some biscuits, whatever you need ahead of the race today. But if you are watching post-race, if you're one of the drivers or whatever, you more than welcome just to skip a few moments into the stream, probably about 4 or 5 minutes or so around that. Just when everyone's ready up, and I'll get started on the intro. I think we're just waiting for a couple more people, and then when we get to 1/4 we'll get ourselves going. So yeah, not too long to wait now. So yeah, not too. We've already got one person in. Welcome, welcome. Come in, have a chat, whatever it might be. You want to get going? Talk about some biscuits, or we do love biscuit chats here. So. Yeah, 14 people in tonight, so a decent turnout for the grid. I think we've got maybe 1 or 2 more, I'm not entirely sure. I think we're waiting for, we've got 1 more in, we've got Dace coming in. I think we've now got Honesy in, you know. No, we can no longer talk about his reigning champ. We can talk about his 3-time champion of 4 seasons. So 75 championship win rate for Honesy when it comes to the to NRL. But can he make it 80% this season? 4 out of 5. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We've also got it's Kachow racing. NRL Kachow, yeah, here he is. He's in. Honesy's in. I reckon it's going to be a good fight. I think this season is going to be a very good one. I think we've got Rogers, we've got Stein, Honesy, Kachow. Toss is easily going to run away with the championship, so I reckon it's a fight for second at the best for these guys. So we'll go for the second place in the championship, which is going to be Honesy, Stein, Rogers, Vjerdi, Cali, Kachow, Stuart Little. A lot of good people, cannot lie, a lot of good people. A very, very talented grid, who are hopefully going to put in some very, very good performances, fingers crossed, for my sake. Hopefully we can get some good racing going on, because it's always good to start the season off with a bang. Not literally a bang, so don't be crashing into anyone, Toss. We know you're going to win the championship, so there's no need to do it dirtily. $17 people in now, and this is not bad turnout whatsoever. We've got Will, Honesy, PAFR, So this is going to be the Guy Grand Prix. I've not been persuaded by any other means, by the fact, other than the mere fact he's going to give us an absolutely fantastic race. Totally not for the 4 Freddos or anything. No, nothing at all, because I'm a completely unbiased, uncorrupt commentator here, Sweeney. You know me. Just press options to not show the other. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So I think, who have we got in? Come on, guys, come say hello. I don't bite. I bite Freddos. I don't bite people. I'm not that weird. I promise. I don't think I am anyway. I'd like to think I'm not, but we'll see. We'll see. 18, nearly a full grid. Who are we missing? We're missing an AlphaTauri and a Mercedes. Other than that, it's a full grid. Decent turnout. This. Absolutely loving it. Really, really good turnout for the first race of the season. Hopefully it can stay consistent throughout. Of course, remember back to the start of season 4 when it was me and Vert, my first race. It's been a whole season since I joined NRL. It's been a long time. Well, I say a long time. It's not been that long. It's been... Actually, how long has it been? One moment. I'm actually curious now as to how long I've actually been here for. because I was the new kid like not that long ago. Scroll down, how far? Oh, there's 3 different leagues on one channel, isn't there? Wait, season 2, no, NRL season 3, NRL season 3, NRL season 3. How many rounds were there? Season 4, 4 months I've been here. The 10th of April. It was for Sakir, so this very round, the short variant of the circuit, not the full one we see right now, because there are no short variants in this game. They didn't have things to add any. It'd be good if they added like all the variants, like the outer, the international, the short for Bahrain, and then like the international, national. What are the other ones for Silverstone? There's quite a few layouts for Silverstone. There's one where you turn right after Beckett's and just go back down the hanger straight. There's one where you just go straight on at the loop. There's another one, or are they just the 3 and then you've got the full circuit? I think that those are just the 3 and then you've got the old circuit. 19 people now, decent. Decent. Afternoon, Henry, welcome in. I think we're now waiting to get ourselves going, because it is past, in fact, 8:15 when we should be getting ourselves underway. So if you are watching post-race, this is where you should be right now. Just in time for the intro. I won't start it just yet, otherwise it will awkwardly end just as the timer runs out. So we'll give it a second and utilise the loading time between now and qualifying very wisely. And hopefully I don't fluff up the intro, but yeah, getting everyone readied up, and we're getting raring to go for a new season. So hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the CCR Network. You join us for round number 1 of Season 5 of the Nemesis Racing League Championship, with a new game bringing a plethora of new challenges, and with the pre-season Nations Cup bringing a fantastic opportunity to gauge the pecking order. This season is going to be one to remember. We head to the Kingdom of Bahrain and to Sakir for the Bahrain Grand Prix, a track that is no stranger to action, excitement and drama. The fast corners of turns 5, 6 and 7, coupled with a heavy braking and interchanging direction of turns 1 and 2, Bahrain has it all and will play host to tonight's season opener. Kachau comes into this season reigning champion, finally able to dethrone the once unbeatable Honesy. But as they say, a real champion can defend their title. Will Kachau start his defence strong? Will Honesy fight back? Or will we see a new challenger in the mix? All questions to be answered at the checkered flag. I am Zach Sweeney, your returning commentator for Season 5. So buckle up, folks, because a new era starts right now. And we're loading ourselves in now to a short qualifying session, 18 minutes on the clock, where drivers are going to need to try their best to get themselves out onto the circuit, get themselves flying laps, get them flying laps in, really balls to the wall, absolutely nothing left on the table when it comes to qualifying. You cannot afford to leave anything on the table in qualifying, because as NRL have proved, marginal gains can be so critical. We've had pole decided by less than half a tenth of a second, and a blink of an eye roughly is around about a tenth of a second. So you think half of a blink of an eye has decided pole position. Virtually identical laps, but just not identical. If you played them side by side, they would look identical to the eye, but when it comes to the timing, they aren't. They're really not. But we've got, who's this coming out first? We've got Guiao onto the circuit first. So yeah, the debutee, the Williams driver, looking to impress upon debut, hasn't practiced for the Bahrain circuit, unfortunately. So he's coming into this one blind, and as many people, including myself, use qualifying as a practice session. It does well. Use the first 2 laps as getting yourself acclimatised to the circuit, get yourself used to it, get yourself going, get yourself warmed up, and then use that final flying lap to really give it your all. I mean, Bahrain is a tough circuit to master. It's a tough circuit to be quick around. I'm expecting our drivers to be in the 25s, low 26s at the very least. But yeah, Bahrain has its own challenges. It's got That turn 9 and 10, very, very awkward corners. You're braking downhill, but you're also turning while you're braking. So it's really, really difficult to either lock the fronts or lock the rears. And either way, it's going to be a big mistake. You're either going to go in too deep or you're just going to spin. So definitely less than ideal, but we're right on board with Guy for his first flying lap. He's on the soft compound tyre, going for that more aggressive strategy. Soft to hard primarily is the strategy around Bahrain, but we may see some people going for medium to hard if they feel a little bit less confident with their abilities. Here's Guido starting up a lap now through the final corner of turn 14 and 15. 15 not really much of a corner if you get it right. DRS open then, that drag reduction system pushing him down this back straight, just minimising the drag as much as possible. Extra 15 kph coming towards turn 1, braking just before the 100 board, down to second gear, roll it through, use that camber on the inside and just get as close to flat out as you can through turn 2. Should be about flat out for turn 3, and then coming up the hill towards turn 4. Not much of an undulation change, but enough certainly. Brake at the 100 board, down to third gear, keep it close to that curb, but don't run over it. On the exit, use all of this track space in towards turn 5 and 6. Very nicely done, just got to chuck it in fifth gear. Really got to be committed through turn 7, flat if you can. For turn 8, brake at that Aramco board, turn it in second gear, short shift up the gears if you can, just maximise the exit as best you can. And then downhill towards turn 9 and 10, those really awkward corners. Smash the braking as soon as you get alongside that curve for turn 9. Get a good exit as you see him do there. DRS open down this back straight. You've really got to get a good run down towards turn 11. Utilise the extra space you have going in. Brake it around about the 75 metre board or so. Really chuck it in, coming up the hill now through turn 12. Completely flat out in qualifying spec. And then towards turn 13, look for the Rolex boards on the inside. Just roll it through fourth gear. Use the track on the exit. Very tidy from Guy as he now approaches the penultimate corner. Again, looking to open up the track. Look for that 100 board just after it, around about 80 metres or so. Third gear. Don't use the curb on the inside. You really lose quite a lot of speed. Get a good run. DRS open on the run to the line. It's going to be a pretty decent lap. There's a 25.8 for Guy as he crosses the line. And can the AlphaTauri behind do anything? No. Niro only a 26.1 for him. But we've also got Stein, the other AlphaTauri, on a lap. Stein, a very proven driver, a very good driver, a very quick driver, especially around the Hungaroring. That's Toss, a 25.815. So the McLaren driver coming into this season looking very quick in the McLaren, and he's doing a pretty good job so far. We'll see how it is at session's end though. That's a very wide Red Bull coming onto the circuit. Shouldn't distract Stein too much. Goes a 104.5 to the middle sector. Vengeance a 125.499. So finding a little bit extra time compared to the other two of Toss and Guy. But what can Stein do coming into the final sector now? Third gear, roll it through as we've got a lot of people settling in, using their or getting those lap times in. Tom goes second of 25.533 across the line. Stein goes P3 at 25.775. So around about 3/10 or so off pole position, and that's not where he's going to want to be. We'll go on board with reigning champion of Cachao, someone who's coming into this season and wants to prove his worth and really needs to do what he can to defend that title. It's not going to be easy because Holmesy missed a lot of rounds last season. Cachao was there to pick up the pieces, so he's going to be a very tough ask for the Haas driver. So we'll see what he can do. He's not currently on a lap. We'll go on board with PAFR AA. And no, not the roadside assistance company. Nor a former battery. He's a person, he's driving the Alpine, and he's now going through turn 10, and we'll see what delta he's looking at as he climbs up through towards turn 13. He looks to be pretty hooked up in towards turn 11, fourth gear. Don't really want to use that curb. You can see use a little bit too much and managed to invalidate his lap time, unfortunately for him. Exotic is now about to cross the line. The Mercedes driver of last season did a very good job alongside Domily. Goes 13th fastest, 27.3 on those medium tyres. We don't actually have Domily on the grid tonight, which is a shame because it would have been nice to see what he can do on the grid. We've got a few new people as well. David coming on over from PAFR, I think. One of the commentators over there coming in to see what he can do in NRL. Currently sits P11 on the cusp of the top 10, but on the medium tyres, not doing too bad. Same with Holmesy, just inside the top 10, but on the mediums as well, a 26.4, just under a second off pole. And now into the pit lane comes Honesy. Jardy's on a lap, is he? No, he seems to be pretty slow. So this is where the sort of session dies down a little bit as people have finished their first laps. They come in and bolt on a new set of tyres and bring it on, refuel, and go out for their second fire. So this one is usually just a bank lap time. You don't see many really flying laps as Calirob goes into P4, purple final sector, and just a 1,000th of a second off Stein. So virtually matched a third and fourth, provisional second row. Calirob and Stein both race winners, of course, from last season, and are coming into the season doing very, very well. So let's see what he can do as the session progresses. Around about halfway through now as we approach 9 minutes left of the session. So not long at all. They need to get shifty on. They need to get themselves going. They need to try and improve upon their lap times. Toss also out on an out lap, so they're coming out now, still committing to those softs. So yeah, it seems like a lot of people aren't really going for that alternate medium strategy. Those outside the top 10 100% should go for that medium strategy because it's fresh tyres. You've got a free choice. You might as well go for it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what sort of strategies go through. That's Dace up into P3. The Honesy's teammate of last season in the Ferrari now accompanies the reigning champion. He does like to be reigning champions' teammates, doesn't he, Dace? And he's always a great person to be alongside. But third, fourth, and fifth all separated by just over just under 2/100ths of a second. So very fine margins, as I was saying. It's not a lot in it at all. But still, Tom and Vengeance, the two at the front, and even then, less than half a tenth separating the top two as it stands. So virtually nothing in it. The top seven separated by just under 4/10. So an incredibly close grid, and not one you often see anywhere else other than NRL. And that's probably one of its biggest talking points. One of the biggest praises you can give NRL is the excitement of qualifying, because you never really know who's going to get it until the final moments. Here's Toss though, league owner and one-time P4 finisher of last season at the Russian Grand Prix. He's going to be never ever going to let us live that one down. He's going to be talking about that for years and years to come, unless he can beat it today. Currently sits P6 in the McLaren as he hurdles his way down towards turn 1 in excess of 203 miles an hour as he slams on the anchors. There's Hay Rogers into provisional pole position, a 1:25.165 for the Red Bull, who puts in an absolutely blistering first flying lap. As we hit halfway through the session, in fact, so he's looking very quick and a very dominant first lap. Has Tossed improved to the first sector? Indeed he has. Does go purple with a 27.5. Not the best first sector, but certainly a good one indeed, as he comes into towards turn 8, second gear, roll it through. That looked very tidy indeed for Toss. At the moment, a couple of tenths will see him up into the second row of the grid, very comfortably in fact. So he just needs to find a few tenths through this middle sector and the final one, and he'll see himself up quite a few positions. Doesn't take a lot, as I said, as he comes now down towards turn 11, braking just after the 100 board. Fourth gear, very nicely done. Slams back on that throttle as he climbs the hill, really giving it his all as he chucks it through turn number 12 in towards turn 13. Has he improved? He has indeed, nearly 4 tenths up on his time. This is all now down to Toss to see where he can put that McLaren in qualifying provisionally. Of course, still a long way to go in this session. Now comes towards the penultimate, or well, technically final corner. Fourth gear, third gear, not the best. You don't want to be downshifting on the apex. Goes a little bit wide and invalidates, unfortunately. That was looking to be a pretty tidy lap, in fact, from Toss. But we'll go on board reigning champion of Cachao. Where can he put that car for the start of qualifying? A 1:04.4 as he goes through the sector 2 line, overtaking a provisional pole sitter of Hay Rogers. Coming into the final corner now, goes a little bit deep, but no worries, it's only his bank lap time. He's still got one more set of free soft tyres to use. He comes across the line. It's P4, it's a 25.669 for Cachao. He makes it a Haas 4.5 as it stands. There's Stein a little bit down to the first sector, but only marginally. Toss with 2 purple sectors on his lap. He really bottled that final one. That was looking good to be one of the best. But the positives is the fact that he can now look forward and take that positivity to really help him for his final run, because he knows now that he's got the pace. That's Guy retired from the session. I think that was one of the turn 8 spins. We'll go on board with Cachao as he negotiates through this section of the circuit. Yeah, that's a turn 7 spin. You get over that curb coming off, it really unsettles the car. The cars are so low to the ground as Vengeance improves to a 25.444. the cars are so low to the ground that they're just bouncing all over the place as you go over the curbs. As we're on board with Stein, who looks to improve upon his time. DRS across the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be P2, a 25.390 for the AlphaTauri, who sticks it back onto the front row of the grid. A very quick qualifier is Stein, and so too is Hay Rogers, his teammate of Nero, just crossed the line. He currently sits P12. Vengeance not on a lap at the moment. David sticks it into P5, a 25.537, 4 1,000ths between 4th and 5th. So incredibly close margins. Doesn't go for a second lap. Wants to save those soft tyres as much as he can, and a very wise decision indeed to do so. His teammate Cali Rob currently sits P9, and at the moment only 2/10 off David. So an incredibly close grid. Could not really ask for much closer, but he starts his lap. Probably his second of 3. You usually see people get 3 flyers because you get 3 sets of soft tyres to use in qualifying, and then 1 set of mediums. You don't typically ever get the hards unless you choose the harder compound. Tom GoProf is underrated when he comes out of the pit lane. We'll see what he can do. I mean, I don't think I'd underrate him at all. He's currently P3 and only about 4/10 off pole, less than 4/10 off pole in fact. So yeah, Tom doing a great job, and one I was talking about last season. He is very quick indeed, and on the second row of the grid, he's going to be one to look out for a podium finish tonight at the very least. I think he's going to be one of those contenders. I think anyone. I mean, if you look at it, the top 10 are separated by 7/10 of a second. That's on average less than a tenth between each driver. So it's all to play for, certainly inside the top 10, and race pace is going to be a massive factor. Cali Rob though through turn 12, and has he improved to the middle sector? Has indeed, 2/10 up, and at the moment that could see him ahead of his teammate, very marginally just, but both Astons are looking good amongst the midfield. Cali Rob and David. Cali a proven race winner. If you look back to the Russian Grand Prix, or was it the Mexican Grand Prix? I believe it was the Russian Grand Prix. Across the line, Cali Rob, where does he put the car? P4, just ahead of Tom GoProf in the Williams, who is now heading on an outlap for his final run in qualifying. He only marginally sticks it ahead, does Cali, in fact. Only around, what is that, 7/1000ths of a second. So still very fine margins. Not a lot in it whatsoever. So you cannot count anyone out in this session. Tom is the first of the arguably front runners to, in fact, head out. And Hosey is having an absolute mare down in P17. You wouldn't really expect that from a 3-time champion. Maybe Kachow winning the championship last season really knocked his confidence. But yeah, Hosey, 3-time champion at the moment, is P17 when it comes to qualifying, and well over a second off pole. 1.3 down on Rogers' time. In fact, both Ferrari struggling. P17 and 19 for both of them at the moment. We're on board with Tom GoProf in the Williams. Williams notoriously very, very good when it comes to NRL, especially last season. Had a very strong pairing. Now coming into the final corner, second gear. That might not give him the best run off the exit, but if it works for him, it works for him. DRS open. An extra 15 kph as he hurdles his way down this pit straight and down towards turn number 1. Once again looking for that 100-meter board, braking just before it, brake completely in a straight line, chuck the car in as best you can. Really got to utilise the trail braking, clip turn 2 as much you can, nearly flat through turn 3, and try not to get too much of a slide, as you saw Tom do there. Coming towards turn 4, again braking just before the start of that curb, around about the 100-meter board or so, go down to third, maybe second gear, use the curb on the inside, use the curb on the outside, chuck it through. About a 1/10.5 up for Tom at the moment. That's good enough to see him onto the second row, maybe more if he can find a little bit more in this final couple of sectors. You can see really giving us everything, not leaving anything on the table for his final run in qualifying. Vengeance and David both out on a lap now as well, waiting for the top 2 to strap on those fresh soft compound tyres. DRS open for Tom as he now hurdles his way back down this back straight towards turn 11. And no braking board at all, so that might catch a couple of people out. Down to third gear, straight back up to fourth, fifth to get that little bit extra traction. Use the curb as he goes through towards turn 12, and purple to the middle sector, 2/10 up, and is looking good to get himself onto the front row of the grid if he can keep this momentum up through into the final corner. What can Tom do? I should say, not Toff, as Tom GoProf, not Toff. But Tom on the run to the line. DRS open, what's it going to be? He crosses the line. Is it fastest? No, it's a 25.381 and very marginally gets himself onto the front row of the grid. A valiant effort from the Williams to be such marginally ahead of Stein, who's now heading out on his outlap, looking to improve upon his time. Honesy in the Ferrari looking to improve as well. He currently sits on a 26.4. Whether that's reminiscent of his true pace or not, I'm not sure. It might well be. I've seen in other leagues that the arguably favourite, the one you haven't seen much of through pre-season, and the one you would expect to be doing well into the season, isn't doing too well. So it wouldn't be a major surprise, but of a driver of Honesy's calibre, you wouldn't expect it whatsoever. But we will see how Rogers is doing on those fresh soft compound tyres, see what he can do. We can see weaving around. He's let Stein go, in fact. No, he hasn't. He's let his teammate Niro go. So Rogers not wanting to get caught up in traffic whatsoever. 57 seconds left on the clock for qualifying, and you can see a bit of a traffic jam going on as no one really wants to go first. That's a spin of Niro actually going through turn 12. Was he on a lap? He was in fact on a lap, so bottled that one quite heavily. Rogers weaving around though, trying to get some heat into those tyres and grip those softs up ready for his laps, trying to set it up. 35 seconds left on the clock. This is his final effort. Him and Stein both fighting for that pole position. Can Stein get himself back onto the front row? DRS open then for Hay Rogers as he now starts his final lap. 23 seconds on the clock. He currently sits at 25.1. Can he get himself into the 24s? We'll have to wait and see. Down the gears in towards turn 1. First gear, get that extra rotation straight up into third. Fourth, nearly flat through turn 2. Use the curb through turn 3. Very nicely done to keep the car very much pinned on the inside. Vengeance sticks P4. Can he pose a threat to the front runners as well? He starts his lap. Cali Robin David as well could be up there as Dace cannot make the flag. He stays P7 in towards the first sector. Rogers is up on his time. What has Stein done to the first sector? Gets a bit of a slide though. That could be his time ruined. He comes to the first sector, still marginally up though, so it's still all to play for, and if he keeps this momentum up, he'll find himself on the front row of the grid. Hey, Rogers very marginally up as he slams on the anchors into turn 9 and 10, gets a beautiful run off the exit. DRS open though, it's going to be very close between the two. Vengeance goes into P2, 2/1000ths of a second off pole position. It's now all eyes on Stein and Rogers to see what they can do. Kachow across the line, he stays P9, can't improve. Cali Robin David into P6 and 7. Exotic goes P5. Is Rogers up on his time? Very marginally so, half a tenth up on his time, 0.064, and purple to the middle sector. Stein, has he improved to the middle sector? Very marginally so, 1/10. He needs a stonking middle and final sector just to really hook it up and just hope that he can get himself back onto the front row. Holmesy into P5, just shy of Stein across the line. Hey Rogers goes fastest to 25.041, and it's now Stein. What can he do across the line? Has he found some time across the line? It's P3, a 25.240 for Stein. Can Cali Rob improve? He seems to be a little bit up to the middle sector. Can he find himself on pole position? DRS open across the line. It's P3, a 25.216. Anyone else still yet to cross the line? Toss only stays P5, a 25.3. Look at the gaps between everyone in qualifying. Pole, a 25.0. Second, a 25.1. Third, a 25.2. Fourth, a 25.2. Fifth, a 25.3. Sixth, a 25.3. Seventh, a 25.4. Eighth, a 25.5. 25.5. 25.5. 25.6. There's not a lot in it whatsoever. It's going to be an absolutely incredible race. And the reigning champion down in P11 and the three-time champion in P7. So maybe we've got some new contenders ready to go in the wings. So we'll have to wait and see what we're in store for. 29 laps, of course, remember, of the Bahrain Grand Prix. 50% race. Should be quite comfortable, soft to hard, but we never know what can be thrown our way. And as I said with NRL, you never ever know who's going to be on pole. And I think that certainly proved it. An absolutely incredible qualifying session to start the season. But at the end of it, it's Hay Rogers that smacks it on pole position in the Red Bull, a 25.041, and Vengeance joins him on the front row. Cali Rob in P3 with Stein in P4. Toss, a great qualifying session in P5 with Tom P6, joined by fellow Dutchie and three-time champion Honesy in P7. Exotic P8 with David and Dace rounding off the top 10. Reigning champion Kachow only P11, but crucially gets a free tyre choice for the race. Stuart Little in P12 with Will P13. Guy in P14, and an impressive debut not far off pole position with Niro in P15. Shirley P16 with Quinton, and AA and Delta Lima rounding off the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Do not go anywhere because it's going to be an absolutely incredible race. The grid separated by just over 2 seconds, which even then that's an anomaly. You take out the bottom two and it's only around about a second in it for the entire grid, so not a lot of time whatsoever when you consider how short of a short amount of time a second is. But in motor racing it's around about it feels like a year. A second is a long time. And it's a very crucial amount of time, as we shown there. You could be in P16, a few tenths up, and you could be P4. So very fine margins indeed. We're waiting for the go-ahead from the league directors to let us go racing. Of course, no one is allowed to ready up on the grid, unfortunately, so we have to just wait a moment and make sure everyone gets their setups maybe a little bit tweaked for the race, or get their strategy sorted. Do not want to be over-fueling whatsoever. If anything, want to be under-fueling. Yeah, just waiting for the drivers to ready up when we get the go-ahead and we're ready to race. I think it should be only a couple of minutes or so. I think it's just a quick break. So go ahead, go to the toilet, get a cup of tea, get some biscuits, whatever it might be, to prep yourself for the race. Should be a very good one. I'm very excited for this one. If qualifying is anything to go by, I mean, turn 1 and 2 very much switch back on each other. You turn right for turn 1, but if you can keep it on the outside, you got the inside for turn 2. But if you keep it on the outside for turn 2, you got the inside for turn 3, and then subsequently the inside for turn 4. So it very much invites everyone to go side by side through there, and we should have a good fight for the race lead. If you can, who is it on P2? I think is it Vengeance? It is Vengeance, isn't it? In P2. So if he can give Rogers a good run in towards turn 1, should be a very spicy fight to the end. And race pace is always going to be crucial around Bahrain. That crucial turn 12 curb is very lethal. You've got to be very careful going through it. You clip it and you're pretty much going round. And this game is ever harsher. When it comes to curbs, very difficult to save a slide once you're gone. You get to that point of no return where you just sort of have to accept your fate and just focus on not hitting into a wall or hitting into anyone else. But we'll see now. Everyone's readying up. 20 seconds left on the clock before we get ourselves going. Countdown to the formation lap, the lap where they're going to need to warm up those tyres as best they can. And make sure they've got themselves raring to go. The adrenaline's now going to be starting to kick in. They're going to start realising they need to impress for the season opener. They need to get this season off to a bang. They need to get that momentum rolling early. Start the season off well so you can carry it forward. But you can see now, one light gone and we're green for the formation lap. Henry Rogers leading the way. He's got Vengeance alongside with Callie Robinstein in P4. Any one of the top 4 could go into turn 1 ahead if they get a good enough start. It's not the longest run to turn 1, but it's a very crucial one indeed. It's going to be one where they're going to want to make sure they can maximise. Kachow, everyone outside the top 10, not on the softs. Most of them, 8 of them on the mediums. Delta Lima going for the hards, going very long into the first stint, and then going for maybe the softs later on when he's got the lower fuel capacity. Could be an interesting one. Could see where he puts himself. But Kachow is going to be one to look out for on that alternate strategy. It's going to be very quick compared to everyone else, so he could be in for a race win. We don't know. We'll find out in 29 laps time when we see the checkered flag fall. But personally, my favourite, I reckon it'll be Rogers from Stein from Toss for the top 3. Hopefully, I'm hoping that Toss doesn't let me down and gets a podium. But I think Rogers has the race pace. He's shown the pace today, but coincidentally, I mean, as we saw in real life, it's Mercedes and Red Bull fighting at 1-2 in Bahrain. So very reminiscent of the real life one. Hopefully we see just as good as battle as AA gets himself disqualified from the session, and that's the wait on the grid for everyone else. You can see Rogers back in the grid up now, making sure that no one is left behind, and they're all queued up nicely so he doesn't have to have any tyre cooling issues while he's on the grid. And let's see what he can do then. From pole position, he put in an amazing lap time, but Vengeance wasn't far off. Neither was Callie. Starting P4, Toss P5. Great qualifying session from him. With Tom, the underrated man, according to his fans, in P6. So the drivers now lining up onto the grid. The predicted pit stop strategy: soft, medium, or soft, medium. I'm sure people are going to completely disregard that and go for soft hards anyway, but we'll see what they do. Drivers now lining up. We're waiting for the green flag at the back of the grid, and then the 5 red lights will illuminate your screen for the Season 5 season opener here in Sakir for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Now just waiting for the green flag. Here we go then to 5 red lights. The car's revving up. We got ourselves raring to go. Season 5 is underway, and it's a great start from pole, and even so for P3. Calirob looking to get alongside, and that is Stein looking to go into P3. Toss with a good start further back. They're nearly 3 abreast going towards turn 1. Stein into P3, just about manages to get it, but Stein can't quite get it. Yes, he can. He's up into P2 now, fighting with Vengeance for P2. Gets himself ahead through turn 2 and on the inside for turn 3. So Vengeance down 1, but it is Rogers that leads from Stein. Vengeance in P3, Calirob P4. Toss under pressure, and he tries to go around the outside of Calirob. He's going to try and make it stick. The Aston Martin gives him the space as they go 2 by 2 through turn 4. That's Tom Prof and Honesy going around the outside of turn number 6 in towards 7, gets it stuck, but the Williams giving him a great run, gets a little bit shaken, and the Alfa Romeo of Exotic is waiting in the wings, tries to go for the switcheroo, gets himself underneath Honesy. There's yellow flags through sector 2. Someone's gone off. I think that's the Williams of PAFR AA as they all come through turn 9 and 10 for the first time, and it is Rogers, but Honesy goes in very, very deep. Tom's going to get a great run, see if he can put the pressure on down towards turn 11. He's going to be tucked up nicely in the slipstream. Jurdy trying to put that pressure on David as well in the other Red Bull, looking to go up the inside of the Aston Martin, not quite going to be close enough to put the pressure on as Kachow down 1 place, needs to put that pressure on Will early and not get caught up with any wing damage whatsoever, because that would be a very, very poor start to his race. Nero going very wide through turn number 13, or no, in fact it was Guy that goes very wide. He's going to lose not 1 but 2 places because of it. We cut back to the front. Rogers leads almost a second gap already to Stein, who needs to put that pressure on, and in 1 lap's time, when the DRS is enabled, needs to be there to put the pressure on and cannot let Rogers get away from him at all. It's only lap 2, so don't let the HUD deceive you. Stein followed closely by Vengeance. It's all aboard the Stein train at the moment. Stein from Vengeance, Calirob in P number 4 with Toss running it off the top 5. He's still there, definitely putting the pressure on and giving these guys a good run for their money. But Stein, it's got to be crunch time for him. He needs to stay within 1 second. A crucial 1 second. It's literally a train all the way down the field. Literally everyone is not that far off whatsoever. You can see Honesy already low on fuel, so he's gone for the more aggressive, going for a lighter car towards the start, and is hoping that he can save that fuel later on. While we wait for the tower to sort itself out a little bit. Would be lovely if it could. Very soon, as Rogers really doing well to break free from everyone else. Stein not quite able to put that pressure on. He looks to just about be within 1 second, but I'm not entirely sure until the tower fixes itself. Let's see if we can do anything about that. I think we do. There we go. Tower now sorting itself out. Stein in P2. 8 tenths is the gap between himself and Rogers. This is going to be so crucial for the rest of the race. He cannot let Rogers get away. You can see using all of that ERS to try and edge his way inside. And he's going to get the DRS towards turn 4 if he can. That's a spin further back. I think that's Quinton that's gone round in towards turn 13. Maybe lock the rears or something. The DRS not quite open. 28.8 for Rogers. 28.9 for Stein. Vengeance falling off a little bit. So too Calirob, but they're still all within that same 1 second range, the DRS range, where if you're in 1 second of the car in front, you get the rear wing flaps open, and that gives you an extra about 20 kph or so down the straight. And Stein is benefiting off that now, and he's got that virtual 2 hook. He's latched onto the back of Rogers, and now it's crucial that he doesn't let him get away. For the remainder of this race. This is Will on the inside of Jad. He sends it up the inside of turn 4. The Red Bull trying it on the outside, not being left an inch of room, but finally gets stuff. He keeps his foot in and is looking around the outside of turn 6. Does so. The Alfa Romeo going to try and turn in on him. Not quite going to do it because the Red Bull leaves his foot in, and down the inside goes the Alfa Romeo into turn 8. Still on the outside does the Red Bull. The Alfa Romeo trying to force him all the way around the outside, and Kachow just trying to pick his way through. But ahead goes Will on Jurdy, and Kachow looking to get feisty. Can't quite pick a way through at the moment. Bit of a shaky exit for the Red Bull as well. They're fighting over the final points paying position. Jurdy tucked up nicely in the slipstream, going to look to the inside. Will doesn't defend. The Red Bull then on the inside. The Alfa Romeo going to swoop all the way around the outside. Bit of contact between the two, but nothing in it. And it's going to be inside for turn 13. Surely not side by side. They are going to be side by side. The Red Bull on the outside still going to try and keep his foot in. Is it going to be the outside for turn 13 as well? Yes, it is. The Alfa Romeo not giving an inch of room, but finally has to concede as the Red Bull overtakes him off track. Still going to be side by side on the run down towards the final corner. Now Kuchao getting himself interested down the inside of the penultimate corner. Gets ahead of the Red Bull and is now going to have the DRS on Exotic or on Will in front. He's going to now blitz past him using that DRS and he's going to get himself into the top 10. A great opportunistic move is still kicking off at the front. David down the inside of Toff, gets himself into the top 7 and is now looking to set his sights ahead on Honesy in front, who's in P6, looking to get past Toss, but maybe it's in his best interest to work with him and try and catch those in front. The likes of Cali Rob and Vengeance and Stein and Rogers to try and get themselves onto that podium places. Kuchao has in fact gone round. He's gone off at turn 4. The reigning champion not having a good start to the season, and he's fallen down the order to P15, maybe even 16. But that's a shame for him. He was really driving well up until that point. Still a long way to go though. Still 25 laps remaining of this 50% race. And it's still very close as ever at the front. Stein chasing down Rogers. With Vengeance P3, Cali Rob and Toss rounding off the top 5. Honesy not far off whatsoever, but Toss not able to keep the pace with Cali Rob in front. He needs to get a move on, otherwise Honesy's going to stop working with him and just try and blitz his way past down the next straight, and probably will do because Honesy's race pace is something else. So consistent, so consistently quick, knows how to pick his way through a field as well. And you really can never count Honesy out as being one of the front runners, currently P6, and chasing down P5, the Ferrari 3-time champion. Has won Constructors titles in his time as well. DRS Open using that overtake, and Toss doesn't really put up much of a fight to that one. Honesy gets himself ahead and into the top 6 as well as David looking to get involved. He's going down the inside of the McLaren, maybe even the Ferrari, gets it stopped and up the inside. Toss has not lost 1 but 2 places in that one as Kuchao is retired from the session, and we've got a safety car, a full course, full-blown safety car as Kuchao retired on the exit of turn number 15. Let's see if we can jump on board with Guy and have a look at what happened. Similar pace to Jack Aiken, in fact, just binned it off the exit, and yeah, that's a very poor showing for Kuchao, who starts his title campaign in the wall. So a full safety car is in effect. Exotic also leaves the session as well. Lap 5 of 29. Are any of the front runners going to come into the pit lane? They've surely got to, and maybe go for the hards, maybe switch to a 2-stop for the mediums and then mediums again. That could be a good option because those softs are going to be slightly worse for wear, and you don't want to be caught out. If there's a safety car, you need to make it the best safety car of your life. If there's an opportunity under the safety car, you need to take it. And it's all about gamble. This stage in the race, it's going to be a massive gamble. If it's on lap 26, it's a no-brainer, go for softs. But if it's on lap 5, where it's sort of halfway to the pit window, you sort of don't know. So it's very much a gamble. It's where we're going to see a lot of split decisions, I'm sure. But if one comes in from the top 4, I'm sure they're all going to come in. They're all going to follow each other and just be on the level playing field. Is the AlphaTauri coming in? I think Stein wants to get a move on. Stein coming in, the Red Bull as well, going to cut across him. And into the pit lane come the top 4. Cali Rob as well in. So is Honesy, the top 5, top 6, top 7. It's a very busy pit lane. Top 8, top 9. But Jurdy stays out. So all of those in the top 10. This could be very spicy because if you get held in the pit lane, it could be costly, such as Vengeance there. Going onto the hards. Toss onto the hards. Rogers onto the hards. David having to double stack with his teammate. But that's going to be very costly in this race. But Stein going for new mediums. Cali Rob is also as well. Rogers has lost out 2 places because of the double stacking and also because of the busy pit lane. So Stein comes out, provisional race lead of the front runners on the medium tyre, so committing to a 2-stop. So too is Cali, Rogers, Honesy, Vengeance and Tom, along with Toss, David, Will, Stewart and AA all going for that 1-stop. So they're going hard to the end, or at least until the next safety car. So lap 6 of 29. We've had 1 safety car, 1 retiree. So critical times in this race. You cannot be waiting around off the restart. Stein's going to need to clear this traffic as soon as possible. And Jurdy, Niru and Delta Lima all could be looking good in this race. I mean, they started towards the back of the grid. They currently fill the top 3 places. And Jurdy and Niru both on maybe even identical strategies to Stein and Cali if these two opt to go for for the hards or even another set of mediums. Jurdy and Niru, with one stop left, they're going to be looking pretty damn good. It's a very high place finish, but the very busy pit lane really threw a lot of people off, I'm sure. Toss especially, he's down quite a few places, and Roger especially, he's lost out big time, down 2 places to Callie Stein. So yeah, being held in the pit lane does make a big difference in these races. Can't afford to be making any mistakes. And that's true in almost any championship you go to. No mistakes is always the way to go. One more lap then under the safety car before we get back to green flag racing on lap what will be going on to lap 8. Already we've had action up and down the grid. We had a good run for P1, or P2 in fact, because Roger's got a great start and didn't think to give us a good run, but that is PFR AA, and Dace having a bit of a severe collision under the safety car because the Haas pulling alongside him while AA is trying to warm up his tyres, and there's another bit of contact between the two as Dace gets himself ahead. Maybe he's thinking that he wants to be the one in head. This is very interesting. They're running side by side under the safety car, and there's no overtaking under the safety car. I think there's a contest of who should be ahead. The Haas just turning into him, blatantly turning into him there, as I'm not quite sure what's happening. Another 5-second penalty, so AA ignoring yellow flag and reclaiming a position, so he's now totaled at 15 seconds of penalties is AA. 15 seconds of stop goes, so his next 3 pit stops are going to be held for 5 seconds in the pit lane, or 15 seconds added on to his race time at the end. So yeah, not going well for AA at all, and Dace has lost out, maybe picked up some damage, goes well off the track through turn 4. So an interesting turn of events, certainly, but Jurdy leads the way. He's going to be doing his teammate a bit of a favour, maybe helping Rogers close back up, and really going to back this grid up off the restart. So the top 6 sandwich between the 2 Red Bulls. You've got Jurdy leading the way and Rogers on the brink of the top 6, so yeah, it's going to be Jurdy to try and back everyone up for his teammate. Of course, the Constructors' Championship, arguably just as important as the Drivers' Championship, shows who can be consistent as a teammate. It's all good being one show, just one star driver in a team, but you need that teammate next to you to help out and be consistent and secure those points for the team. So Red Bull doing a pretty good job. So too AlphaTauri bringing home well, close to maximum points of, or at the moment net provisional most points of any team in 2nd and 4th. But safety car in this lap then, so Jurdy becomes the effective safety car. He can back up the field. He basically does whatever he wants as long as he keeps it at a consistent pace, backing everyone up. You can see warming up his tyres for the restart. Going to want to get a good launch because it's a long pit straight towards turn 1. Does not want to get slipstreamed whatsoever. And as soon as that safety car comes in, the field is at his jurisdiction. He decides when to punch it between now and the timing line, backing up. You can see he's raring to go. He wants that safety car to get in so he can get back under green flag racing. He needs to catch Niru off, and we're down. He's punched it, and we're back under green flag racing. It's go, go, go. Niru trying to get in the slipstream of him. Stein already up a place. He's passed Delta Lima. So too is Hey Rogers trying to go side by side with Callie Robb. He's had a great restart. The Aston Martin squeezing him all the way to the inside for turn 1, but the Red Bull goes down the inside. This is crucial times for him. Jumps the curb on the inside. The Aston Martin trying to go around the outside of not 1 but 2. They're 3 wide through turn number 2. There's 4 wide as Honesy's gone round. He's got himself involved and he's spun round, unfortunately, in that little bit of a skirmish. Hey Rogers looking to get back up the inside of Callie Robb, but in that skirmish it was Honesy that was the one that was caught out 4 wide through turn 2. Just never works. Exotic on the outside of Delta Lima in towards the S section, gets himself ahead as well. Very chaotic restart to this race then. Stein on the back of Niru and on the back of the top 2. Couldn't have asked for a better restart for him either. Callie Robb and Rogers 4th and 5th, so those 3 have really stayed in the same position. They've gained positions together, and it's going to be crucial for all of them that they stay together. Vengeance as well looking to make amends for his poor restart. Gets a lovely tap up the rear end from, I believe, either Toss or Tom, one of the two. Who's got damage? I think Toss has got a bit of damage. He's Weaver maybe lifting off to let him through, or just to defend, gets himself ahead and up the inside, but the Mercedes is going to go underneath him, try and get the switcheroo, but has to tuck him behind. Yeah, and not commit to that one. Stein on the back of Niru then, his teammate, who's not doing him any favours, going to pull to the right hand side. Is he going to lift off, or is that just to defend? It's just to defend the Aston Martin of Callie Robb. Rob looking to the left-hand side. Could they be 3 abreast towards the penultimate corner? There's Cali Rob trying to find a way through. Can't quite find the space, but around the outside goes Stein on his teammate. Cali Rob going to get the switch through on one of them, maybe. The Red Bull of Hay Rogers literally bumper to bumper to bumper to bumper. Our second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. There's Exotic trying to get up the inside of Hay Rogers on his fresh off compound tyres. Cali looking to the inside, but Niru covers it off. The Aston Martin goes to the outside, swoops around the outside in towards turn 1. It's going to be inside for turn 2. He gets ahead, and that was crucial to stay with Stein, who's on an absolute mission to the front of the grid. Hay Rogers as well needs to get through. Niru's going to come back at him though towards turn 4, down the inside into turn 4. There's contact. He's been spun round. He's going to collect Rogers with him. There's contact, and the Red Bull has lost his front wing. Oh, Niru went into the side of Cali Rob. There might be damage to the barge board of Cali Rob as well, but in that skirmish, Hay Rogers got collected. He's now plummeting down the order, losing places left, right and centre because of that lost wing, and he had the time to react to it but just couldn't find the space to move out of the way. And Niru arguably fighting a battle that wasn't his. I mean, he's more than entitled to his race, but it's a difficult one. But back on board with Toss, he gets himself into P6 on an absolute charge after the pit stops, going to the end of the race on those hard tyres. And at the moment up into P6, now chasing after Niru, who may have sustained a bit of damage to his side pods. But Exotic up into P4 now, chasing after Cali Rob. He's got a 3-second time penalty, don't forget. But that's a shame for Hay Rogers, who was driving so well up until that point. Really faultless drive, and he was on a charge and just got collected in something that wasn't his fault. Could have gained massively from that. There's the Red Bull of Jardy though going to the inside, defending as DRS has been enabled once more. 3 laps after the safety car restart, and the top 5 separated by virtually nothing, or more so the top 4. Stein looking to get himself into the race lead. One of his main competitors are now out of contention. Hay Rogers into the pit lane, but he's carrying on. Respect for that. So Stein and Cali Rob, I think, are going to go neck and neck for the race lead on the same strategy. Equal pace drivers, and they're going to be giving it all they want to impress for the season opener. Stein a very quick driver, Cali also. Both consistent, both feisty, both want this win, and they're going to be chasing it all the way to the end. But they've got contenders upon contenders up and down the field with pace galore. So it could be anyone's game, could be safety cars. We've seen one of the main contenders already out. No reason why that couldn't happen to anyone else with DRS as well. Will has retired from the session. A bit of a slide off of turn 8. Saw him into the barrier. Defensive goes Jardy though. Stein goes with him. Can't quite find a way through. Neither two can the Aston Martin. So they're going to bide their time and wait for the main straight. Stein trying to get the switcheroo. Trying to go around the outside of turn 13. Maybe not the wisest move, but he backs out of it nonetheless. He's going to have the DRS down towards turn 1. Exotic also looking feisty. He should be the fastest of the bunch. He's going to try and get it to the inside of the Aston Martin. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. He's looking, but he's got the DRS, so he's just going to tuck in behind and wait. And there could be even 4 abreast down towards turn 1. Jardy needs a good exit, but he hasn't got it. Stein too has got one. He goes immediately to the inside, weaving around, trying to break that slipstream. So too is the Aston Martin. Stein closing, pulls to the right hand side, gets himself ahead with DRS. The Red Bull having to defend, looking his mirrors for Cali Rob, who's also coming down the inside. The Red Bull looking on the outside of the inside for turn 2. Don't forget Exotic trying to funnel his way through, but around the outside goes not 1 but 2 cars on Jardy. A great move from Exotic, and now putting that pressure on Cali Rob towards turn 4. Can he brake late enough? Not quite. So Stein, Cali and Exotic, your top 3, as Jardy gets absolutely mugged off that restart, and eventually after a few laps falls victim to the front 3, who are absolutely flying. Can Exotic find a way through? A great move from Stein, a great move from Cali Rob, and an even better one from Exotic to steal the deal and stay with the front 3. Toss on the back now with Niru, who's having an absolute nightmare in that AlphaTauri, really struggling to get to grips with it. In P5 though, not doing too bad, but should be easy pickings for Toss, I'm sure, to find a way through. DRS open. Can he go for the move towards turn 11, or is he going to bide his time and just wait for the fight at the front, or at the front, the fight on the pit straight and get that DRS? But we go to the fight at the front. That's what I was alluding to, is the fact that we've got the 2 race leaders, the top 3, the top 4, all within a second of each other. Could not ask for a closer race than this. 2 contenders, 2 main contenders, and Exotic maybe an outside shot with his different strategy, really gained off the restart. Gets a good run, does the Alfa Romeo, but Stein just so quick off that exit, and the Aston Martin with the DRS to help him along the way. Exotic goes still closing, not quite got the ERS to match though. Balls to the right hand side, is he going to go for it? Calirob closing at a rate of knots, not quite close enough to go for it into turn 1. There's a space and open up on the inside. Exotic's going to try and fit it, throws Calirob off though. That's going to put him offline all the way up, and he gets a bit of a shaky run off of turn 2 and 3. So the Exotic going to pull to the left hand side and try and get himself around the outside of the Aston Martin as they come through turn 4. This is all music to Stein's ears, the fact that these two are fighting. Around the outside goes Exotic, still going to keep his foot in the Aston Martin, going to squeeze him all the way side by side through the S section. The Alfa Romeo with his soft tyre grip keeps him on the outside, but Calirob keeps him there. It's going to be the inside for turn number 8. Who's going to come out ahead? He's going to squeeze him all the way to the outside of the track, but the Alfa Romeo in the end has to be the one to concede, as they've now lost touch to the leader. They're now outside of that DRS range, so maybe foolish fighting between the two. But you can't blame Exotic for going for an opportunity. If there was one, he definitely should have gone for it no matter what. So yeah, if you see an opportunity to get through, you're always going to take it. But yeah, Stein really not complaining at all. 1.2 seconds is the gap between the leaders, and that really could have thrown this race into turmoil. Toss gets himself past Niru, and Vengeance looking to get through as well. Vengeance, the man that started P2, now P7, and that just is the unpredictability of NRL. Anything can happen, anyone can win, and at the moment it's Stein who leads the way, followed by Calirob. Big lock up into the final corner for Vengeance though, who needs to find a way through to stay with Toss. 2.7 off the top 4. He's going to blitz past the AlphaTauri on the inside. Can he seal the deal though, because Niru also has DRS. He's going to be on the outside for turn number 2, and we've seen it be done. And he's going to try it. The Mercedes on the outside for turn 2, but the AlphaTauri gets such a good exit off for turn 1 that he manages to keep his way ahead. But Calirob back inside the DRS range of Stein, really putting in a good couple of laps, good couple of sectors, wasting his DRS arguably, as Quinton goes round once more on the exit of turn 1. So really struggling to find a stride. But Stein's so mega through the S section, managing to gain a bit of time. Tom goes quickest to the goes quickest in general, fastest lap. And an extra point going his way. And in the Williams, in fact the Alpine. No, it is the Williams. There's so much blue on the grid that you can forgive me on mistake. Rogers though on these fresh mediums, looking to recover what is possible. He's quite a way off the points, but he's a fighter. He's going to go to the end. He's going to give it his all as we approach halfway through this race. Rogers on the back of Tom, a fight for P15. Honesy on the back of his teammate after being caught up in a first lap skirmish. Off the restart, 4 wide through turn 2, just was never ever going to work. And these two teammates were both involved in it in one way or another, Honesy being the worst off. As we've also got Exotic and Calirob 2 inside the DRS coming down this pit straight. He's got it, and is now going to need to try and remain there as best he can. And try and put that pressure on there. Jurdy into the pit lane for his first and probably only stop of the race. Toss then promoted into P4 and 6.1 seconds off the podium. If he can close 3, that's going to be him up into the podium place because of Exotic's penalty. Vengeance gets himself past Niru with the Haas of Dace has come into the pit lane, and a full blown safety car is out. Dace has retired from the session through turn 13. And that has brought out the full course yellow. And a full safety car for the second time this race. And what implications will this have on strategy? Of course, Jurdy has only just pitted. So if he'd have stayed out one more lap, he could have benefited very heavily off the safety car. But in fact, unfortunately didn't, and lost the full amount of time. But still, it's going to help him close back up and lose virtually no time, just the positions for the safety car. What are the front 3 going to do? Exotic surely has to pit for probably mediums will get him to the end. Comfortably to the end, and quickly as well, because the balance of both durability and speed. Sauce will get you there quickly, but they're not going to be lasting very long. Hards will get you there slightly slower, and they're going to be lasting all the way. But medium's probably the best option for Exotic at the moment. He'll probably come out around about P9 or so on those mediums. provided there's no other pit stops. Neri's surely got to come in. Stein and Calirob going to come in. Stein's thinking of coming in, so too is Calirob on equal strategies. Oh no! Calirob's crashed in the pit lane. He's collected Exotic with him, and he tried to overtake Stein. That's going to be an extended safety car period as Exotic gets a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with him. Calirob caught out by how slow Stein was going into the pit lane, and just a huge crash between the two. Oh, he just gets caught out by that pit lane wall on the inside. Stein going for the mediums. He's going to come out in P4. A very, very busy pit lane once more. Exotic is in. Guy also in. Nero coming in. David in. With both Ferraris coming in. Honesy luckily managed to get himself ahead of his teammate. Otherwise would find himself behind. Now pulling out. And Delta Lima finds his way into the pit lane. But Toss stays out to take the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Who'd have thought? But he's looking very good. He's on hards to the end of this race. That's very unfortunate for Calirob. He was a very big contender in this race, and unfortunately met his demise very prematurely, and that's a shame. He just got caught out. That's a shame for Cali, but I think that's going to be probably meme of the season already, I reckon, because he just got caught out by Stein on going so slow in. He tried to overtake him, do a Sebastian Vettel, and just found the pit wall and met his good friend Barry R. And unfortunately for Exotic, got caught up and gave himself a 5-second penalty for that. So that goes on to his total. So yeah, a pretty big crash, can't lie. It was a very crucial crash as well. Now we've got two main contenders out of contention, because that's both Rogers and Calirob now out. I mean, Rogers isn't out. He's still in, and this safety car is going to be a massive help on his charge back to the front, if he can do a charge back to the front. I mean, if anyone can do it, it's going to be Rogers. In P12, he's on medium, should be comfortable to the end. I'm pretty sure they should be, but if not, then we'll see. Certainly we'll see. I don't think we're going green this lap. We're going green next lap. Yep, one more lap under safety car for sure, and we'll be back in. But Toss is going to lead the way ahead of a McLaren 1-3, so great restart. Great for them. Great result for them, as we've got a Stein fan in the chat. Stein, at the moment, what has happened to him? Where is Stein? He's P4. Couldn't see him. I thought he'd come out in P4, but then I couldn't see him. But he's on fresh mediums. He's going to be looking to get through this traffic as quickly as he can. He's probably the favourite to win at this stage. Probably should be comfortable to win. Most of his competitors are out or out of contention. I mean, we've got Kachau out, we've got Calirob out, and Rogers being collected in a crash. Sees him out of contention. If you are only joining us, it's been a very hectic 16 laps. We've still got 13 and a half left to go. Should be around about 13 green laps. Hopefully we can stay green for the entirety of the thing, but we'll see. We'll certainly see. But Stein on the back then of Stuart Little, who he's going to want to get a good start. He does not want to get swamped off the restart, because he's got Quinton, Exotic and Nero all behind him. If he gets swamped, he knows how good these guys are at defending, so he's going to be wanting to look forwards rather than backwards, but that's never a given. You've got to be prepared for both. It's just as easy to go backwards as it is to go forwards. It's both an opportunity for success and an opportunity for failure at the same time. So Stein's going to want to make sure he's not going to get caught out. Tosh as well just needs to keep his cool. He's leading a race, and he's leading the season opener as well in his McLaren. Of course, raced for Racing Point last season on F1 2020. He's now in the McLaren. He's jumped over. Racing Point now dubbed Aston Martin. British outlet taking over the team after Lawrence Stroll invested in them, but yeah, Toss didn't want any of that. He jumped ship to McLaren. Safety car in this lap, so Toss weaving around like a snake, trying to get some heat into those front tyres so he can get off to a good restart. And he's got the pack at his full jurisdiction. Vengeance already being brought right back into this. The man that started P2 back into P2 after being swamped off the start in the second restart. But you can see Toss weaving around Waiting, just making sure his tyres are at a very good temperature. When is he going to punch it? Doesn't want to punch it too early or too late to be caught out, but Vengeance is ready to go. We're under green flag racing once more, and Toss has got an absolutely great restart. Stuart Little looking to get past Stein as well with a great restart. Vengeance really being caught out by this one. Stuart Little all over the back of him, pulls to the right hand side. Stein with a front row seat to all of this. Now coming towards turn 1, lap 17 of 29. Vengeance on the outside. Stuart Little sends it under the brakes, but we're now 4 abreast in towards turn 1. Quinton on the inside gets ahead of Stein, who's going to fight back in towards turn 2. The outside of turn 3 as Exotic tries to find a way through also. Stein being absolutely swamped by this, but Vengeance and Stuart Little gets ahead. It's now a McLaren 1-2. Stein under pressure. He's got Exotic on his left hand side on those fresh mediums as well, looking very quick if he can get through. And the Alpine of Quinton also putting that pressure on, so a very hectic restart towards turn 1, and Toss absolutely managing it to perfection. Now 1 second clear of Stuart Little, and Stein did not want that to go the way it did. He would rather have gotten 1 place rather than having to maintain and defend a place, as that's Delta Lima and David both going round through turn 8, unfortunately for them. The Vengeance down to 3rd. It's now a McLaren 1-2. Rogers definitely got a chance. He's up 1 place off the restart. Exotic looking to get through, but another safety car has been brought out in this race. The 3rd one, and we've only just been going once again, so I think that crash between Delta Lima and David has brought out the safety car once more. That's a very flexible front wing for David, and a non-existent one for Delta Lima in P15, so another opportunity. Is it going to trigger any pit stops? We'll have to find out. Maybe Toss bites the bullet, comes in for some softs. But because the grid is so bunched up, he's going to lose a lot of time, so I wouldn't recommend it. But Stein, yeah, it's another chance for him to get a good restart. It's another chance for him to go backwards. So yeah, who's coming in? Anyone? Is Vengeance coming in? No. Stein, Quinton is coming in. Can he get it stopped? That's going to be him cramping his leg. Just about gets it stopped. Anyone else in? No. Tom's in. I think that's going to be it, apart from Delta Lima, who's also coming in. But for obvious causes, because yeah, he's not got a front wing, he has to come in. Probably mediums comfortably to the end, maybe softs. He's going for softs. Oh no, he's not. He's going for mediums. Colourblind, I must be. He's going for the yellow walled medium tyres then to the end of the race. That means the entire grid, bar 5, is on the medium, so 2/3 of the grid on the medium tyre. That's a very vast amount. 4 retirees and 3 safety cars in action all up and down the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix. It certainly has not been a dull season opener, and still a long way to go. Toss leads the way ahead of a McLaren 1-2 with Vengeance P3. Stein in P4 looking to get himself back in front after his pit stop under the 2nd safety car. Exotic up into P5 with Nero holding on for P6. Guy in P7, an impressive debut in the 3-time champion in P8. Hey Rogers, the pole man, getting caught up in an incident at turn 4 and finds himself P9. AA in P10 with Shirley P11. David, again another incident for him in P12. Quinton just come into the pit lane, P13. Tom in P14. Not had the best of starts, but a good qualifying with Delta Lima rounding off the grid and looking to catch up to the field as quickly as he can. Again, after being caught up in that incident with David and losing his front wing. But still 11 laps left of this race remaining. Will we get back under green flag racing this lap? Hopefully so, because the majority of the grid is here, but we're waiting for Delta Lima to catch the pack. I think they're just going to miss it. I think it's going to be one more lap on the safety car. So certainly don't go anywhere, anyone, because it's going to be a fight to the finish for sure, unless the safety car gets deemed to be called in now, hopefully. I would love to go back to green flag racing. We've had some late calls of safety cars coming in beforehand, so no reason why they can't do it now. So we'll see. Going through the final corner. Is the safety car in? No. So we've got one more lap then, and hopefully we get no more incidents to the end of this race. Would be the most ideal situation, just a straight sprint to the fight, straight sprint fight to the end, I should say. I'm losing all of my words at the moment. Really not the best. A huge crash in the one, Jesus. The number 98 Aston Martin in the GTE, I think is it the Pro Class? Had a massive crash coming off the straight. His brakes just didn't work in the one. Yeah, that was a huge crash. The first retirement of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. That is also on live, and yeah, got a lot of interesting stories. Of course, the two Magnussens fighting, or being teammates, I should say, in the LMP2 class, I believe. Or they might be in the prototype class. No, both of them are prototypes. They're all prototypes. It's literally called the Le Mans prototype, or the hypercars, I should say. But one of the two Magnussens being teammates, which is nice to see. The first time they're paired up ever in either of their racing careers. But yeah, Toss and Stuart Little head of McLaren 1-2. We bump back ourselves to the action for season 5 of NRL. With the two Alpines swapping positions. AA is being caught up in a bit of safety car controversy once more, maybe. But yeah, safety car should be in this lap, almost a given. Is David out of spin with the safety car? Maybe. No, he's pit for soft. So too is Jurdy. They're going to be very quick to the end. Safety car in this lap, then we get ourselves prepared to go green once more. McLaren 1-2, Vengeance starting the top 4 with Exotic rounding off the top 5. Any one of those could be contestants for the race lead, but don't forget Rogers further back in P9 is going to be looking feisty as well. His tyres could be very short towards the end. But Toss, he knows how to do it. He's done it once before. He's weaving around trying to back everyone up. And then bolt off at the last moment. You can see it's pretty much a traffic jam. Pretty much 9 is at 8 cars all the way down to Honesy within probably about a second of each other, but Toss going very slowly, really crawling his way around the circuit, so he has the full jurisdiction. Has he punched it? We're back under green flag racing once more. It's a great restart for Toss, so too for Stein. He's on the back of Vengeance. I think it's pretty even further back. Vengeance goes to the inside. We're back green once more for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Stein weaving around, trying to block Exotic as best he can, does not want to lose positions, has to defend, brings it back to the racing line, but Toss leads from Stuart Little and Vengeance P3 with Stein P4 looking to get after him on those fresh medium tyres. Should be extremely quicker than him, but he's not quite closing at the moment. Needs to get those tyres into a window. You can see Vengeance still trying to warm up those tyres. That's Exotic looking to the inside, not quite going to be close enough to launch an attack. Hey Rogers on the outside of Guy gets the move done through turn 4 and up into P7, now setting his sights further forward for the guys at the front. Exotic going very wide through turn 7, could leave the door open for the other AlphaTauri, but it seems to be a pretty uneventful restart this time around. Guy coming back, or Honesy coming at Guy this time. Rogers cleanly ahead of him, so Honesy gets himself ahead and then to P8 with Rogers now on the back of the P6 fight. Honesy with a very, very twitchy run through turn 9 and 10 because Guy sends it back up the inside, forces Honesy off the road, but he keeps his position at the front with Rogers on the back of Niru, and he's going to need to get this done if he wants any chance of fighting with the top 5. He's just about off the edge of it, and this overtake is going to be crucial if he wants any chance of a podium, the top 5, whatever it might be. But Nero being pretty much a mobile chicane at the moment. No DRS, of course, until a couple of laps after the safety car, 3 laps to be exact. That's Quinton going for another spin through turn 13. He's not had the best day through there, it must be said, but Rogers needs to get this move done pretty quickly. At the front, is anything going to happen? Stuart Little on the back of Toss. The two McLarens at the front doing some very, very fine work on those hard tyres. Vengeance coming at them though. The Mercedes not going to let them breathe. So too is Stein. He's going to need to get through. He sends it up the inside from a mile back. He locks up, goes into neutral, and might even lose the place to Exotic, who has to park the bus just to not hit into the back of him. Stein very, very lucky to not be caught up in any incidents there, and he's not going to be doing his tyres any good. Exotic looking to get up the inside, not quite going to go for it though. Unfortunately, Exotic going for the switcheroo though, could maybe get underneath him. He is going to get underneath him, gets the drive off the corner, the inside for turn number 6, but backs out of it, and Stein stays ahead with 3 cars now in the wings. Exotic, Nero and Rogers, maybe even Honesy to make it 4, practically pushing everyone through that corner. So Stein really backing everyone up. And this is not the way his restart would have wanted to go. He needs to put that pressure forward and not hold everyone up backwards. Exotic looking very quick. Not the most impressive qualifying, but a very impressive race pace. Nonetheless, Tom gets himself past AA as they run side by side down towards turn number 11. Gets himself ahead cleanly just before the braking zone. Edges his way ahead. And AA has to tuck in for P11 just outside the points paying positions for the time being, but still a way to go. Lap 21 of 29. Say 19. 19 was 2 laps ago. On the safety car. But no, lap 21 of 29. Still around about 7 or 8 laps left to go. Vengeance on the back of Stuart Little. DRS will be enabled this lap as Toss leads us round to start lap 22. Exotic on the back of Stein. He's going to get the aid of DRS down towards turn 4, but the top 6, maybe even the top 7, as Rogers is also getting himself up the inside of the AlphaTauri. A critical move for his race. The AlphaTauri tries it on the outside, going to send it back up, but Rogers closed the door and stays in front. And now Honesy looking to get through with DRS. Also, Exotic on the back of Stein. Is he close enough to go for the move? Not quite. Honesy on the back of Niru. Can he get through? No, he can't. Tom getting his way past. Guy, the 2 Williams going side by side, gets his way ahead, and into P9 goes Tom, and on the charge, on a comeback charge to come back at the top block, who are all in very close contention with each other. Top 8 all within DRS of one another, well, excluding Nero, because he's holding up Honesy a little bit here and could cost him, but the top 6 certainly are sort of broken free from the rest of the field a little bit now, because yeah, as I say, Nero is backing him up a little bit, but Toss leads the way. Stuart Little not quite able to put the pressure on his teammate as of yet. Neither with Vengeance, but they're going to the aid of DRS down the pit straight for the first time since the most recent safety car. So too will Stein, and Exotic could be very, very feisty towards turn 1. We'll have to wait and see. 6 cars all within a lovely little train, all aboard the Tosh train, as they concertina their way through the penultimate corner to start lap 23. And DRS enabled for Vengeance and Stuart Little, who's going to be trying to get his way through. He's got it activated. He's closing, but is he going to be closing enough? Exotic on the back of Stein as well. Can he go for the move? Not quite going to go for it. Stuart Little on the back of Toss. No one goes for a move towards turn 1. They're going to bide their time and maybe wait for that run up the hill towards turn number 4. And Vengeance, can he put that pressure on? Not quite going to be close enough. That's the thing, being behind someone who's second place in the train, because second place gets the DRS of first and you can't really do much. Exotic trying it on the outside of Stein though. The AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo running side by side towards the S section, but Stein does not give in and forces his way all the way to the outside of the track. And the Alfa Romeo, that's a very wide Rogers though. He's into the wall. What has happened to Rogers there? He's just gone straight on. Is that a wheel disconnection or something? A safety car has been brought out once more, and that's another contender fully out of this race. You just saw him in the background just go straight on at turn number 6, and he's out of this race. Something big happened, but what sort of implications could this have? What pit stops could this trigger? Could there be any pit stops triggered? Could someone come in for softs? Will people come in for softs? We never know. We'll see as they pass the pit lane who's going to go for it. I'm trying to get information on what happened to Rogers, because that is a pretty hefty crash. That was a very weird one. He just went straight on at the S's. Is Toss coming in? Is Stuart Little coming in? He's eyeing his way up. He's coming in. So too is that Stein coming in? No, they all try and bait everyone in to commit to a pit stop. Neru comes in though. Everyone else is going to stay out. Guy comes in. AA comes in also. So not a very busy pit lane, but 4 cars coming in under the safety car. Our 5th safety car, or our 4th safety car of the day, with 6 laps left to go. Is Toss going to be allowed to pass the safety car? No, he's not. He's going to have to tuck in behind, as they all have to back up behind the safety car once more. It's a very close grid. Anything can happen. Honesy up into P6 after being tagged off the 2nd safety car restart, and on the 4th he's in P6. But Toss still leads the way. Could he hang on to win this race? I mean, Stein hasn't made that charge forward as we'd have thought. But a 5-second penalty for AA, who it's another severe collision with Guy. Not sure what happened. How many penalties is he up to now? Surely racked up quite a lot, down to 10 because of 2 pit stops. But yeah, probably racked up a total of around about 20 seconds, or must be at least, for collisions under safety car. Waiting for Quinton at the back. He's on soft compound tyres, and could be quick. The bottom 4 all on the fresh soft compound tyres. Not taking any chances, and should be very comfortable to the end. So yeah, still 5 laps left to go. Anything can happen, but McLaren 1-2 with not too feisty Stein. I mean, you really would have expected him to cut through the field at the top 4, but he's just been getting swamped off the restarts, and that's really not helping him at all. And with the safety cars ticking the laps down, he's running out of time to do it. So, I mean, I don't want to say it, but I think Toss has got a good shot here. I think any one of the top, probably 6 could do it. Maybe top 7 if they get a move on early. One more lap under the safety car. So we'll have 4 laps of green flag racing. Toss is 4.3 extra on fuel because he just didn't expect this many safety cars. So he's got a very heavy car. I think everyone does. They've saved a lot of fuel under these safety cars. So yeah, it's a shame as AA has retired the session in the pit lane. Which is a weird one. I mean, anything could have happened between now. I mean, his penalties, yeah, probably setting him back quite a bit. So yeah, I think I can probably see why he's retired now because of the penalties. But still, it's nice to finish the race. It's a reward in of itself. Now racked up to 60 DNFs. So now only 13 runners left to go in these closing stages of the season opener. Definitely being a dramatic one nonetheless, and fights up and down the field, as I always say during the safety car, because it's something to say, and it's very true. It's very definitely applicable to this situation here, because we've had a great race, very dramatic. We've had Cali Rob and Rogers be DNF, the reigning champion, out also. So 3 contenders, you'd have said, for the race lead could have definitely contested, all out of the race, and it's now between the 2 McLarens, a Mercedes, an AlphaTauri, and an Alfa Romeo, and even a Ferrari, a 3-time champion who hasn't looked the quickest today, but he's definitely used his wit, his consistency, and his racecraft to battle his way, not once, but even twice to get his way back up. He had to fight from a poor qualifying, well, actually it wasn't that poor, it's P5, got a bad start, and then spun off with the second restart and had to fight his way back to P6. Nonetheless, though, safety car in this lap. We're going back to green flag racing. Toss leads the way for the 3rd time. He's got his teammate right behind him for the 2nd time, and Vengeance again looking to put that pressure on for the closing stages. We're going on to lap 26 of 29. 4 laps left of the Bahrain Grand Prix for NRL Season 5. Round number 1. It's been a great race. Can we close it off in style? Can Toss claim his first victory of the season? When is he going to punch it? We're back on the green flag racing. A great restart from Toss, an even better one from Stuart Little, already putting that pressure on. Exotic, another great restart, looking to put that pressure on Stein as soon as he can. No DRS until the final lap of this race. Stuart Little looking to put that pressure on his teammate, but not quite close enough just yet. Honesy on the back of Exotic, looking to send it up the inside. Exotic gives him the space. They're going to be side by side. The Alfa Romeo on the outside, inside for turn 2. A good effort from Honesy, but not quite good enough. He's now going to be on the chase down towards turn 4. Can he get the move done? He's going to look, but not quite going to be close enough. There's contact further back. I think that's Delta Lima and Niru gone round on the exit of turn 3, which is a shame for them. Unfortunately, they couldn't really end off the race in style, and they're now quite a way back. Still only 3 seconds, but it's going to be a tough ask in 4 laps. Toss leads from Stuart Little, Vengeance P3, with Stein P4. Again, not the best restart. Honesy, though, doing him a massive favour and trying to back up Exotic, who has got that penalty. Remember, 8 seconds, I believe, it totals to. Yeah, indeed, 8 seconds for Exotic as they come down towards turn 11. Stuart Little not quite close enough to his teammate. He's going to bide his time and wait for that DRS on the final lap. I think it's going to be a final lap. 27, no DRS. 28 will be enabled, and 29 they'll be able to use it down the pit straight. So it's going to be a close one for sure. And anyone within the top 8, top 9, well, the field is extremely close. I mean, anyone could do it if there's enough spins or battles. Vengeance, though, on board with him now, or focusing the camera on him as he comes through the penultimate corner. He's got a nice double slipstream down the pit straight. Honesy gets himself past Exotic, who's gone very wide off the track. So too as Honesy is going to concede that position, and into the pit lane comes Honesy. Has he sustained some damage? He must have done. So Exotic is up a position. So is David. Jurdy, though, trying to swamp him. He's going to go down the inside himself. 2 by 2 they go. David on the inside of Tom. Absolute send. But Tom's going to leave him around the outside. So too does Exotic on Jurdy. And they're going to be 3 abreast now down towards turn number 4. David having to defend. Exotic trying to get his way in. Tom having to squeeze him all the way. He breaks out, he does Exotic, tries to fill the space. Contact between Tom and David as Tom goes around the outside of the Alfa Romeo, but the outside for turn number 6, but the Alfa Romeo tries to squeeze him. Around the outside goes the Williams. The Alfa trying to keep his foot in. Can he get it done? He's over the curb. There's contact. He's been spun round. Exotic is round and having to cut the grass. A 10-second time penalty for corner cutting, and he's lost loads and loads and loads of positions, tumbling down the order as Honesy retires, and maybe so too does Exotic, with now 18 seconds of penalties as he got very much caught up. Contact with the side of Tom, and a big crash once more for the season opener. And Stein gets very shaky. His tyres are going to be starting to feel the effect of tyre wear at the moment. So yeah, Stein really not doing what I would expect him to have done on those fresh mediums, which was use them while they're young and get his way through, but that progress has been halted by safety cars, and his tyres are going to start to feel the hit now as we come towards the penultimate lap of this race. DRS will be enabled. They'll have it down towards turn 4, and on the final lap it'll be down towards turn 1. Toss leads from Stuart. Vengeance P3 very close behind Stuart Little though, and looking to put that pressure on, get himself into P2. Guy getting past his teammate on the inside, the other Williams on the outside. Can Guy secure the place? Yes, he can. A great debut so far for him, but yellow's through set to 3. We're going to have DRS. That is Exotic retiring from the session. DRS as they climb towards turn 4. Not a massive advance for Vengeance. Neither two for Stein. David though could be in a shout. He's got those soft tyres. They're going to need to be nursed to the end, but they should be a little bit quicker at the very least. Through the S's for the penultimate time then. David looking very slow, very slidey. Stein looking to the inside. Yellow flags once more. I think that's Quinton gone round on the exit of turn 7 from a very decent midfield position. So a lot of bottle lids open in these final stages. A lap and a half left. So he's got very far in and bottled it right at the death of it as he goes off once more at turn 8. But the top 3, top 4, top 5 all within a second. All within DRS though. We've got 4 sectors left of this race remaining. Around about, what is it going to be, 17 corners of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we still don't know who's going to be solidified to be the winner. Toss leads from his teammate Vengeance, who's in P3. They're going to get DRS down towards turn 1. It's going to be a very feisty fight. Toss not with a lot of ERS to use though. He's going to need to use it all to defend his position. Vengeance with a great run off the exit of turn 15. He's going to be tucked up nicely in the back of that McLaren, but the McLaren in front has got that DRS. It's going to help him. He has to go defensive. The Mercedes looking to the left hand side. The McLaren looking to the inside. David looking there. Stein going down the inside. He's going to get under brace. He's got it stopped. The Mercedes is scared, and David is going to look to get himself up into the top 4. Vengeance being absolutely swamped. A great move from Stein. Stuart Little not able to put that pressure on his teammate. We're on the final lap now. Stein back onto the podium, and Vengeance being caught out there. What a send from Stein. That was so late on the brakes. Guy around the outside of David, getting himself into the top 5. Can he solidify the move around the outside? David backs out. That penalty is going to hold his progress, but what a move from the debutee, really coming in with a statement. David's going to come back at him though, send it down the inside, scares the Williams offline a little bit. He gets a bit shaky. Good effort, but not quite good enough. Stein now has got one more DRS zone. He locks the rears nearly into the back of Stuart Little. That was very close. His heart definitely in his mouth there. Needs a good run. Vengeance on the back of him, putting that pressure on, practically pushing him down this straight towards turn 11. Can Vengeance get the move done? Not quite going to be close enough. Toss leads still from Stuart Little. He's got only a few more corners left to go. Can Toss do it? He's led almost half of this race. He's only got a few corners left to negotiate. Stuart Little really much under pressure now from Stein, who's going to give it everything in this final sector. He's got 2 more corners left to try. He's got this straight and he's got the slipstream, but is he going to be close enough? Toss, he's held through thick and thin. He's got 1 more corner left to negotiate. Vengeance can't find a way through on Stein, and after 29 laps, the season opener, Toss crosses the line. He's going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix, the season opener of season 5. It's a McLaren 1-2 with Stuart Little, and Stein in P3 with Vengeance P4. Tom gets himself P5 ahead of him, Williams at 5-6. An impressive debut for Guy as David falls down to P7. Nero P8 with Jerdy P9 waiting still for Quinton and Delta Lima at the back. And what a race for Toss. He wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Oh, what a race. I'm speechless. What a race. What a race. We're still waiting for Delta Lima to cross the line to finish P11. That was a race and a half. Now McLaren at 1-2. Who'd have thought? Quinton gets driver of the day. But Toss leads the championship now. After round 1, the two McLaren boys share the podium. Stein in P3, an impressive charge, but not quite good enough to halt the McLarens, who played the safety cars to perfection, and they celebrate very, very deservedly on the podium. But after 29 laps of intense racing, we couldn't have asked for a better season opener. It's Toss that takes the win ahead of a McLaren at 1-2. Stuart Little and Stein join him on the podium with Vengeance P4. Tom Groproff a P5 for Williams, along with the fastest lap. Guy in P6, an impressive debut. David P7 with Nero P8. Jurdy and Quinton rounding off the top 10. Lima rounding off the finishers with Exotic, Honesy, AA, Rogers, Calirob, Dace, Will and Kachow rounding off the grid as the DNFs. But we could not have asked for a better race. We had drama, we had contenders out, we had fights for the race lead, and we had a top 5 battle to the last lap of the race. And I think that is just, we had the exciting qualifying as well, did not know who was going to be on pole, and they really, really did deliver in the race. 29 laps that action went on for 4 safety cars, and action all the way through. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you next time out for the Singapore Grand Prix on the, I believe, the 28th of August. It will be, in fact, the 28th of August. So next Saturday, tune back in on the CCR network. I'll be here as Zach Sweeney for round number 2, and hopefully it's going to be just as good as that one. Until next time, guys, it's been a pleasure. Bye-bye.